I'd like to start by just saying that, many of you know me from my last 17 years in the Massachusetts legislature, but many of you don't know that union blood started in my family when I was born. My dad was the general chairman with the UTU, with the railroad, and oftentimes there were always members in the house with this or that type of problems. We grew up seeing it, and it left a profound impact on my family. I was the sixth born in 7 years out of 8 children, and we grew up in Watertown, went to St. Luke's Parish, just across into Belmont. We had a great upbringing. And the activity of my dad stayed with many of my siblings. In fact, I'm honored to introduce my brother David is here, who was a yardmaster. He's retired now with the railroad. David is a former yardmaster, local chairman. My brother John is here, who's a national political director and international vice president with the BLE, Brotherhood Locomotive Engineers, who have merged with the Teamsters. He's in here in town. And my baby sister was with the MNA, and then she went into nurse management. And the good news about that is we like people that leave the trades and go into management because they know how to treat people. And so Cece would have been here too today, but she couldn't be. My brothers and sisters, I grew up surrounded by hardworking people. And it was natural to see my dad reaching out, helping people. It was natural. And in 1972, when I got hired on the railroad, it was 5 years I was elected local chairman in 1977. And I had an experience just like this, a meeting just like this. My national president was speaking. His name was Fred Kroll, and he said that the role of a union representative is not just in the workplace. It's not just about pensions and benefits and health care. The role of a union representative is also in the communities. It's in the churches. It's in the schools, the Central Labor Councils, and the AFL-CIO. And he paused. And I was electrified at this point. I had goosebumps. And he said, you have to balance all that activity by being a good parent. I was electrified. I came back to Boston, affiliated my local with the AFL-CIO and the Central Labor Council. It was during that time working for the railroad that I met my wife. I met her selling her a ticket, the best ticket I ever sold. And let me tell you this, we'll celebrate our 29 years this Sunday. Sue, where are you? You here? The love of my life. Everything labor stands for is what's right about America. Everything. We are the parents, the family members, the volunteers, the community leaders, and the hard-working men and women of this great state. That's us. Before I get carried away, I don't want to transition too much, but I want to just say that for the previous 25 years, we had a great leader in our President Bobby Haynes. A great leader. We're going to check the payroll records.
10-12-49.
And I also want to point out Tim Sullivan. Is Tim in here? Tim, the legislative director, a great friend, works his heart out for the AFL-CIO, Timmy Sullivan. Everything I did at the State House was on behalf of working people and organized labor. I advocated for the men and women of this state who go day in and day out to work, building our country, educating our children, protecting our families, cleaning our buildings, keeping everything from the trains to the power lines to the operating rooms running efficiently. I battled side by side with many of you right here in this room on behalf of our children, our parents, on behalf of health care, retirement, and pensions, and schools.
You don't mind sitting next to a black guy, do you?
And I'm very proud of that. Brothers and sisters, the world is changing, and we have our work cut out for us. Not since the days when children were sent into factories and Pinkertons were hired to beat up strikers. Not since the time before organized labor invented the weekend and gave America and most of the world the 40-hour work week have we seen such a divide of the people who do the hard work in this country and the people who take home the money. The gulf between the super wealthy and the American worker has never been wider, and they want us to believe that's fair. Right now, the ratio of corporate profits to employee wages is higher than at any time since the Great Depression, and they want us to believe that's fair. The richest 1%, holds as much wealth as 90% of our country, and they want us to believe that's fair. This comes at a time when the cost of homes, health care, colleges, the prices are soaring, and they want us to think that's fair. Our country has prospered like no other nation since the 1970s. So where did the money go? 75% of the increased profits for corporations over the last 10 years alone have come from one place, brothers and sisters, one place: working families. Cuts in wages, cuts in benefits, cuts in retirement, cuts in health care, and they want us to believe that's fair. Over the last 40 years, the middle class purchasing power has decreased by over 40%. And the large chunk of this wage inequity is directly related to one thing: the decline in unions. And they want us to believe that's fair. But we know where the money went, and we know how to get it back. Brothers and sisters, we gotta organize, we gotta grow. We have to turn back the numbers to where they were, and we must be solidified. I hear a lot of voices saying that labor has to compromise, and you know what? Sure, we're ready to compromise, but it can't be a one-sided deal. We're always ready to compromise and work with the other side, but for too long it's been one-sided. Brothers and sisters, we'll compromise when Wall Street stops robbing Main Street, and the greatest breach of trust in financial history this nation has ever seen. We'll compromise when the politicians, state after state, stop trying to wind the clock back to the 1920s for our hard-working brothers and sisters. We'll compromise when Washington stops rigging the tax code to create the greatest transfer of wealth in this history, in this country, the transfer of wealth from those who work to those who don't. When the system is this badly out of whack, don't you dare tell me that we need to give back medical benefits or pension benefits or to give back anything until we get equity. To support what? The greatest inequity in wealth? To support the greatest inequity in wealth that this nation has ever seen? This isn't just about the super wealthy. This is about hard-working Americans and the destruction of the middle class. It's about the type of state and country that we want for our children. I want to read you something that our President Richard Trumka said in a speech this spring. Budget proposals unveiled in Washington and state capitals across the country this year revealed a despicable canvas of cruelty. In Michigan, a state senator thinks that foster children should be required by law to purchase secondhand clothes. In Maine, the governor thinks more children should go to work. In Arizona, the state Senate president floats an idea of locking up protesting public employees in desert tent city jails. In New York, a billionaire mayor proposes to fire 5,000 teachers rather than tax the bonuses of Wall Street executives who brought down the American economy. Think about it. The message these budgets send is sacrifice is for the weak. And I end the quote. That's happening in our nation, brothers and sisters. In Massachusetts, the quote is over with what Richard Trumka said. In Massachusetts, this great blue state has not escaped this trend. We're being outspent, outspun, and outnumbered. We only have two weapons in this fight, our members and our unity. And I need your help. I need your help to continue to build the labor movement to preserve the middle class. It's up to us to let the people know that we are relevant. It's up to us to let people know that we are important and that we are a critical part of this economy. It is up to us. Here's what I need from each and every one of you. We must act. We must do all we can to ensure that President Obama's jobs bill is passed. We call on every member of the mass delegation to vote for it so that thousands of Massachusetts residents can be put back to work. We must only vote for those who care about working families instead of candidates that strip our schools of money. Candidates who turn their backs on the middle class and the working class. Let's vote for those who will fight for our interest and stand up and press the button and put the resolution in and put the amendment in. That's who we have to support. Let's not just raise the minimum wage. Let's tie the minimum wage to the consumer price index so that working families can have the financial security. We must stop playing defense. For too long, we've allowed the other side to blame us for this country's high unemployment and skyrocketing health care costs. It's ridiculous, it's unacceptable, and it has to stop. We must speak up and tell the people what we are about. Brothers and sisters, we are the AFL-CIO, and we gotta be proud of it. We are the ones fighting for jobs. We are the ones who run the largest scholarship program in the state. We are the ones that volunteer in the community, and the ones that want to work to fight to change the community. And brothers and sisters, all of us in labor gotta be under one banner. One banner. All of labor's gotta get under one banner. We must also grow and organize in numbers, and we will be strengthened. And together we will save the jobs and the benefits and the wages of those we care about. Let's renew our partnerships with the environmentalists, the community organizations, nonprofits, the civil rights groups, all the people that are fighting for the middle and working class that we care about. We must be unified. And there is much we need to change. 27 million Americans are out of work or underemployed. 27 million, 250,000, 250,000 of them right here in this state. And there are too many of them. Are our friends, our neighbors, and our brothers and sisters. All these numbers speak loudly. They speak to the fundamental level of fairness, and we must fight together. And brothers and sisters, I cannot do it for you. I cannot do it without you, but we can do it together. God bless you. I look forward to working with you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, and God bless you.